Next up, we have a pair of Jackie Chan titles on 4K from 88 Films. I'm really glad I picked this up. Project A, 1 and 2 on 4K. So 88 Films put this out about 6 months ago, I want to say, and of course they had to make a social media post not too long ago saying, hey, our copies of Project A have almost run out. You should buy your copy now. Now I know that's just a selling tactic to get me to buy the 4K, and so I bought the 4K.
You weak, pathetic fool.
It was only 60 bucks.
Good Lord, that's a lot of money.
But I'm glad that I did, because Project A 1 and 2 are some fantastic Jackie Chan films starring Jackie Chan and Sammo Hung. I gotta say, Project A, they're not my favorite Jackie Chan movies, but they're up there pretty high on the list. When it comes to plot for these movies, I'm not going to rehash a plot because, let's face it, you're here for the stunts, you're here for the action, you're here for Jackie Chan and Sammo Hung if you know what's good for you.
Don't boss me!
So Project A on 4K from 88 Films, definitely worth your time. This box set is amazing. You get like all these little, like, you know, you get this little booklet here, pretty cool, and some posters, which I won't unfurl right now, but you get some cool stuff with it. But yeah, you get Project A 1 and 2 on 4K. Not bad. I really enjoy Jackie Chan's films. So originally I had these on a Miramax double feature Blu-ray from 2008 or 2009. They looked and sounded horrible. It was the old Miramax cuts. 88 Films goes out of their way all the time, and they did a proper restoration of these films. They look and sound amazing. You have a couple of different cuts to choose from. So you have a couple of different options. All the frills, some pretty awesome packaging right here. And you know, for 2 films on 4K, the price is right. Hopefully this is still available after you see this video. If you're into Jackie Chan, if you're into martial arts, kung fu, you owe it to yourself to check out Project A. And look at this cool on the box. Look at that. That's pretty cool. I don't know. There's a little attention to detail that I like from our good friends at 88 Films. So yes, pick this up. Next up we have a film by Frank Darabont that I slept on for some reason for the longest time. I think a lot of people slept on it though, but I'm here to tell you, check this one out. The Majestic on Blu-ray from Warner Brothers.
In a place he's never been.
Have you ever been in here before? It's just that you look sort of
familiar. I said the same thing.
With no memory of his past.
You have no idea who you are or how you got here?
Like, he will be mistaken for someone he never knew. It's Luke!
So The Majestic is about Peter, played by Jim Carrey, who is a Hollywood screenwriter who is in a car accident in a new town, and he loses his memory, and he is told by the townspeople that he is this long lost hero who went off to war and never came back. And so he's dealing with, is that true or not? You know, dealing with the woman he left behind, supposedly. There's also this movie theater that he and Martin Landau try to restore together. I don't want to say a whole lot more about this, but it's a sweeping drama directed by Frank Darabont, who directed The Green Mile and The Shawshank Redemption, to name a few. The first season of Walking Dead, which is a masterpiece. The rest, but that's because it didn't have Frank Darabont. But The Majestic, while I'll say it's not Frank Darabont's best film, it's definitely something you need to check out if you're interested in his films, Jim Carrey, dramas, cinema, or movie theaters. This is a uplifting drama that I think also scratches that cinephile itch that I was kind of talking about earlier, where, you know, you feel satisfied after a good movie, you feel complete, you feel whole again. And this had me feeling those feels so much that, you know, right after I watched it, I instantly went to the internet to see how cheap I can get this for. And spoiler alert, it's not that expensive. It's under 20 bucks. In fact, I want to say it's about 13. So it doesn't seem like it's in danger of going out of print anytime soon, but it is Warner Brothers and they're not exactly pumping these out by the truckload these days. You know, it is available, it is obtainable. You know, this isn't even available in 4K. I think they're really missing an opportunity to put this out on 4K along with so many other Warner Brothers titles. Believe me, the list is 3 miles long on how many Warner titles should be on 4K that are not. While it's not Jim Carrey's best work dramatically, because, you know, there's still The Truman Show and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Do you remember me?
No, I'll sure try.
What if Luke spent the last decade actually thinking he's somebody else?
He might have people looking for him.
Federal agents.
This is all a game, but it's their game.
It's a little melodramatic at times, but for my dollar, it was satisfying. It was definitely worth my time, and it's definitely worth yours.
What if this Appleton is more than he seems?
What happens if his memory does come back?
I don't even know your name.
Who are you really?
The Majestic.
Next up, you guessed it, another Fox title on Blu-ray. This one's probably going to go out of print because it's an action movie. The Siege, starring Denzel Washington, Annette Bening, and Bruce Willis. So The Siege, I haven't seen this in a long time, and when I did, it wasn't under the best circumstances. But even then, I still have good memories of it. Like, I enjoyed it. I didn't hate it. I think the problem I had that day was me. And usually if I'm in a crummy mood or if I'm sick or something and I watch a movie, my feelings are projected onto the movie. So this is something I haven't seen in a long time, but it was $3.95 at Rasputin Music and Movies. It was a Fox title. It's got Denzel, Bruce Willis, solid actors, two of the best actors to ever grace this planet.
Do you have any idea what you're starting here?
It's wrong. What if what they really want is for us to herd children in the stadiums like we're doing? And put soldiers on the street and have Americans looking over their shoulders? Bend the law, shred the Constitution just a little bit. We do that, and everything that we have bled and fought and died for is over.
So The Siege is one of those early movies about a terrorism plot and finding them before another one happens, that kind of thing. I do remember solid performances from Washington and Willis. I don't remember a whole lot about the plot, but I do remember enjoying it enough to recommend it, enough to pick it up for $3.95, and to have it in my collection in case, you know, it is completely unobtainable one day, and I have the urge to watch a late 90s thriller.
Don't you ever again question my command, is that clear? I'm not under your command, General.
I also decided to pick up another film on Blu-ray that I have the feeling it's gonna be hard to find pretty soon here, and that is Anger Management on Blu-ray from Sony, starring Adam Sandler and Jack Nicholson. Well, this is something I saw in the theaters back in the early 2000s. I was having a crummy day. A friend of mine said, hey, let's go to the movies and forget all about it. And of course, I obliged and went in and saw this movie and loved it because it was funny. Now, is this the best Adam Sandler comedy? No. There's things like Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore. Is this the best comedy ever? No. But it is pretty damn funny. There's a lot of really solid humor in this film. There's actually even some things that's probably going to get this movie on the canceled list.
Well, that's okay because I'm a lady. Oops. No, I'm not.
Whoa, there it is. Okay.
Woo!
This is another early 2000s irreverent comedy, kind of like Dodgeball. It's a little bit different in style. It's Adam Sandler, of course, so he's yelling half the time, but you know, it works. It's fine. It's something I needed to have in my collection. Just like The Siege, it was just more of a future proof in the fact that I remember there being a lot of great comedic moments in this, and I remember enjoying it a lot. And it feels like it has that replay value if you don't watch it a lot, kind of like I said before. So it's something that I know I'm going to revisit from time to time, and I'm glad I have it on physical media so that when I feel like it, I can watch it. and not be annoyed when I go on a streaming service and it's unavailable because it's canceled.
Ooh, I feel like dancing.
Okay.
Dancing. Oh
my God.
So Anger Management, is it the best comedy in the world? No, but it's definitely worth your time if you're in for a bunch of hearty laughs from a couple of comedy legends. And I think Adam Sandler and Jack Nicholson have some great chemistry in this, and it's a damn fine, funny time.
He's insane. La, 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 la. I think it's pivotal for you to confront your childhood nemesis.
The guy's a monk. He's not even allowed to hurt a plant.
Do you think that's funny?
Don't shove me.
Next up, we have an impulse buy that I got from Half Price Books for a pretty good price, and that is I Know What You Did Last Summer on 4K. Now, this is an upgrade as I had the original Blu-ray, and I remember that Blu-ray being okay, but I remember hearing a lot of really good things about this 4K, and while I haven't had a chance to watch it myself, I feel like this is the last time I'm going to have to buy I Know What You Did Last Summer, and that's okay, because it's not something I watch a lot anyway. Most of my enjoyment for this movie comes out of pure nostalgia. I remember renting this along with Boogie Nights on VHS back in 1997 when these came out. I was really big into film and just watching anything and everything, so, of course, when Boogie Nights and this came out on the same day, I rented them. So this just really just drips in 90s nostalgia for me, and basically, if you're into horror, you know the plot of this. The teenagers are driving around one crazy night, they hit somebody on the road, they decide to get rid of the body, they think he's dead, and sure enough, next summer, they start getting notes that say, I know what you did last summer. And then things happen. Stuff, horror movie stuff. Jennifer Love Hewitt, Ryan Felipe, Freddie Prinze Jr., and my forever 90s crush, Sarah Michelle Gellar in this. They all play their parts very well. I don't think there's really a standout amongst the four, but, Sarah Michelle Gellar, for obvious reasons. Basically, if you're into 90s slashers a la Scream and that whole Dawson's Creek slasher kind of phase that was going on in the mid to late 90s, you know all about I Know What You Did Last Summer. I don't need to tell you anything else. Again, this was an impulse buy. I didn't plan on buying it. I didn't plan on upgrading, but I did. And I think I made the right move in upgrading it. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think?
What are you waiting for, huh? What are you waiting for?
Next up, I have a early 2000s Nicolas Cage action movie that I think 10 years ago would have got some laughs from all of you, some flaming comments in the comments.
What?
Gone in 60 Seconds on Blu-ray. This was definitely a panic purchase because I came across some eBay listing that had this up there in price, about the $20 range. I feared that this was getting lost forever to streaming or Disney Plus or whatever. So I made it my mission to go and find this for as cheap as possible. Now, this isn't one of my favorite Nicolas Cage movies by a long shot.
By a long shot!
This movie is just, this is a little bit nostalgia, a little bit of the action movies of yesterday. And by yesterday, I mean, 20, 25 years ago. This is a Jerry Bruckheimer produced film, and it's kind of riding the coattails of the success of films like The Rock and Con Air. And it kind of has that same vibe in a way, in that it's very stylized, it's very flashy. There's a lot of cars, there's a lot of characters in this. It has a huge supporting cast that you're just going to be doing the Leo meme the whole time. Nicolas Cage plays a retired car thief in this, and his brother, played by Giovanni Ribisi, gets into some trouble, and they're forced by Christopher Eccleston to go steal a bunch of cars in a certain amount of time. And of course, Nicolas Cage is getting chased by the cops, Delroy Lindo and Timothy Olyphant. This movie is all about cars and racing and flash, and it's just style over substance in my opinion. And again, it's not the best of these kind of movies. I mean, Connery and The Rock are by far 10 out of 10 better action movies than this. But again, I'm feeling a little bit of nostalgia for that late 90s, early 2000s action movie, the kind of action movie we don't get much anymore. And if we do, it's just filled with CGI. This has a lot of real stunts, a lot of real cars doing real stupid stuff. It's not all real, but it's a lot more real than the shit we're getting these days. Yes, this is kind of a cringe movie. Yes, it's not... I don't regret my purchase. It wasn't that expensive. I'm future-proofing my action movies, baby. What can you say?
Okay, let's rock.
But if you're in for a good time, if you're in for some action, some racing, some Nicolas Cage that you haven't seen, a plethora of character actors from the late 90s to early 2000s, check out Gone in 60 Seconds, and check out the original Gone in 60 Seconds as well.
What? That?
I gotta get my tool.
Kip, he ain't bullshit. Kip, man, that's not a tool. That's a damn brick. Kip, man, we gonna use a brick, man. We might as well call prison and make reservations. Oh, come on. Oh, man. Come on. This ain't the Dukes of Hazzard. Come on.
We're almost done. We've got about 4 titles left. Thank you all for watching this long. I'll just get right to it. Next up, the 4:30 movie on Blu-ray.
May 25th, 1986. Today is a big day. Last summer, I was too scared to ask out Melody Barnegat, the raddest woman I ever met. But this morning, I invited her to the movies, and she said, okay. Seriously? Hold on 1 second. Cool. I'll see you at the 4:30 movie, Melody Barnegat.
I'll see you at the 4:30 movie.
Done.
Kevin Smith has made a lot of my favorite movies. Unfortunately, they were mostly in the earlier part of his career. So when I heard about this coming out, I wasn't too thrilled because it just didn't seem like it was going to be along the same lines as something like Clerks or Mallrats or even Chasing Amy with, you know, a mostly dramatic film, but with some comedic elements. I was pretty surprised by this. While this didn't make my top 10 list of 2024, it definitely was something that I raised an eyebrow at because it was just full of heart. It was full of characters we cared about going on this journey with. Basically, 4 teenagers trying to catch a movie at 4:30, even though it's like 5 o'clock in the movie. And even then, I don't know why this wasn't called the 4:20 movie. And, you know, I mean, missed opportunity there, Kevin. I mean, I'm sure you thought of it, but come on. So the 4:30 movie is about these teenagers trying to get into a rated R movie in 1986, New Jersey. Kevin Smith made a personal movie, of course, and it's completely a self-insert. And that's fine. I'm okay with that if it's handled the right way. And I think this one handles it the right way. Basically, the main character is trying to court this girl, and he brings his 2 friends along, and they sneak into this movie. The movie itself, it's funny. It's supposed to be Fletch, but they can't say Fletch, so it's something else. But one of the highlights of this movie is Kevin Smith does his kind of like Grindhouse thing where he throws in fake movie trailers. Not the way Grindhouse did it, but it's about the midpoint of the movie, and there are some fake trailers starring his friends and family, of course. But the 4:30 movie, while it's not his best movie at all, it's still got some heart. It's still got some laughs. It's still something worth checking out. It's definitely no cop-out, that's for sure. And it's definitely no yoga hosers. So this was something I didn't want to spend a whole lot of money on, and I didn't need to get the expensive Amazon exclusive 4K Steelbook, whatever. I was waiting for a $7.99 Blu-ray, and the price went down to $7.99 on the Blu-ray, so I had to pick it up. While you may not be a fan of Kevin Smith and you might think this might be his most pretentious film because it's his most personal film, I say give it a shot anyway, so you never know. I didn't think I was going to like it, but I liked it a lot more than I thought I would.
Most people come to movies to escape their lives, but people like you come here because movies make life make sense.
You're the coolest girl I ever met, and all I want to do is watch movies with you.
Jesus Christ. Next up, we have a movie that I am damn surprised it's not been canceled yet, and that is Mel Brooks's Blazing Saddles on 4K from Warner.
Stop him!
I really don't like this cover, and I don't think I'm alone. Anyway, Blazing Saddles, I'm not going to say anything about it because I don't want to get canceled.
Banned. Gone. Forever.
So Blazing Saddles stars Cleavon Little and Gene Wilder as the two leads in this Mel Brooks directed comedy from the 70s. I think you should check it out yourself and see for yourself. Basically, it's a comedy set in the Wild West, only done as Mel Brooks can do it, and only done as the 70s could do it, because it's just a stated fact at this point. You cannot make this movie in 2025. It's a product of its time. The movie's a product of its time, but that doesn't mean that it's slow or bad or not funny. It's full of hilarious moments. In fact, I don't even know what I'm going to be able to show of this movie.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
So here's probably some clip of something nonsensical and pretty bland and not one of the more hysterically funny moments of the movie.
Hey, there's therapy on this.
This is an upgrade for me. I had the original Warner Brothers VC1 Blu-ray. There was a remastered Blu-ray that came out after that. If you have that, this isn't a huge upgrade from that. But if you have the old VC1 like I did, or if you have an old DVD of this, this is a huge upgrade. But a lot of people were saying that they weren't too impressed by the upgrade from this one to the previous Blu-ray. Luckily for me, I had the old VC1 Blu-ray, so this was a no-brainer. This showed up for about 20 bucks on Amazon for a sale. This is something that used to go for 10 bucks on Black Friday after being released, in September of that same year. But now that we lost Best Buy, now that we lost the Black Friday that we used to have, sadly, that's not going to be the case. So when I saw that this went to $20 as opposed to $25.99, I had to jump on that $20 price point. Is this something I was planning on buying? No, not really, but because the price was so good, I figured why not. Man, I miss those days of $10 Warner 4Ks. We had it so good and we didn't even know it. So Blazing Saddles on 4K from Warner. Highly recommended. Your mileage may vary. You should probably check out some comparison videos. But for my money, Blazing Saddles on 4K is worth it.
These are people of the land. The common clay of the New West. You know. Morons.
Next up we have the last film of one of the greatest filmmakers of all time, Mr. Tony Scott, and that is Unstoppable on Blu-ray. So this is something you're going to find for $5 or less on the used market, depending on where you go with. You're not going to pay a whole lot for this, but this was something that I've been wanting to see for a while because I heard good things about it. Quentin Tarantino, who loves Tony Scott as much as I do, recommends Unstoppable, so I take that recommendation seriously, and I've been wanting to see this for a while. I finally got a chance to see it. I wasn't disappointed. Now, it's not the slam bam action thriller that you think it's going to be. Denzel and Chris Pine kicking ass on a runaway train to hell or something like that. It's a very subdued action film. In fact, at the risk of turning you off from this, I want to say it's a boring action flick in the sense that this is a film based on true events where a train is set in motion, poised to hit this turn and crash into a bunch of stuff and killing, basically an entire town of people in Pennsylvania. Denzel and Chris Pine are on another train somewhere else, and they basically decide to try and stop this runaway train. Throughout this whole movie, I had that Soul Asylum song stuck in my head. You know the one. Seems like I should be getting somewhere. Unstoppable. It's not a pulse-pounding thriller. You're not going to be on the edge of your seat the whole time, but it is enough to keep you interested. Denzel, hey, I don't even have to say it anymore. He's Denzel. Chris Pine's actually fine in the role he's given in this. I don't have any problems with it. Rosario Dawson is also in this as well as a supporting cast member. I love Rosario.
We have an unmanned train rolling into a highly populated area with no air brakes.
Yeah.
006, what's up? There's an unmanned train on the northbound track.
It's under power?
It's coming straight at us.
What are we worried about in terms of cargo?
8 freight cars of hazardous chemicals. We're not just talking about a train. We're talking about a missile the size of the Chrysler
While I
Building.
think maybe this might have been marketed wrong, I still think it's solid and worth checking out. Again, it's the late great Tony Scott. The man can shoot a fucking sunset like nobody else can, I gotta tell you. And it's really sad that we're not gonna get any more films from him. But if you're looking for something of his you haven't seen, maybe a little hidden gem that you don't know about, or maybe you just need something new to watch in general, give Unstoppable a watch. It's worth your time.
This is Will Coulson, your conductor. We're gonna run this bitch down.
Tell your sister I love you both.
The train is increasing in speed. We're gonna be coming in too hot.
Just lost our brakes!
All right, we have made it to the final film of this video.
Fucking finally. God damn it.
This is something I found literally on the very last day of March. Just saw it out of the corner of my eye at Half Price Books, and it was a decent price. I had to grab it. The Palma on Blu-ray from Universal. So this is basically a documentary about the films of Brian De Palma. And it's very straightforward. It's basically him in front of the camera talking about his filmography and his life. And I've seen this on streaming a few times here and there, and I was always bothered because, you know, ads were just jammed in there every couple of minutes. So, you know, it really ruined the flow of just listening to this fantastic filmmaker just talk about his filmography. And this isn't going to get any points for style or anything. It's just basically, like I said, a man sitting in front of the camera talking about his films. But to me, a Brian De Palma fan, it's interesting as hell. I could literally listen to another 6 hours of this because just that's the kind of De Palma fan I am. Same thing with Quentin Tarantino. The man can just talk forever. I could listen forever.
The problem of working in the Hollywood system is you can lose your way. My movies tend to upset people a lot, so you can imagine the things they're trying to take out of my movies. I did grow up in an operating room. I saw a lot of blood. I had been battling with the ratings board, and it kept on getting X's, and then I said, absolutely, I'm not changing it anymore. And what I did that really drove them all crazy is that I put everything back in.
The only thing that I could say negative about this was they don't spend enough time on each film. You know, it's like they're talking about Scarface and it's like a 5-minute conversation. Yeah, they hit the beats. They talk about how it's became this, you know, cultural revelation and you know, Oliver Stone and cocaine and all this stuff. But it just seems like I'm getting into it. I'm learning more about it. I'm, you know, hearing it from the horse's mouth. And then it's over. They go on to the next movie. And while I like this and while I can wholeheartedly recommend it, I can also say I could have also watched another 6 hours of it. So if you're a fan of film, if you're a fan of De Palma, you probably already know about this. You've probably already seen it. But if you haven't by any chance, check it out. It's on streaming. I don't know where, but you'll have to deal with fucking ads, of course. But that's also the real reason I wanted to grab this on physical, was because I didn't want to watch it on streaming with ads. And to be honest, that's the whole reason I do what I do and collect physical media, so that I don't have to deal with bullshit. I'd rather deal with 5 or 6 previews in front of this Blu-ray than dealing with 5 or 6 ads every 5 minutes on a screen with subpar picture and audio quality. Anyway, De Palma, while not the definitive documentary on the master of cinema, it's definitely insightful. It's definitely worth your time. It's definitely worth having on physical. So there you have it.
you do some of these things, they make perfect logical sense to you, and then you put them in front of an audience, they go, holy.
So there you have it. All 21 titles that I picked up in the month of March. What do you think of my picks? Let me know in the comments below. What's your favorite Sean Baker movie? Have you seen The Siege or any of the Project A movies, and what'd you think about them? Let me know in the comments below. And check me out next month. I've already got some titles in the pipeline. First one, the hint that I'll give, is the actor who stars in it is a national treasure. And the other two films star an actor who we just recently lost, who was a national treasure. Rest in peace. So with that said, don't forget to like this video, share and subscribe to the channel. Keep physical media alive. Keep those eyes red, baby. See ya.
Has anybody ever told you you have a serious impulse control problem?
It's yet another in a long series of diversions in an attempt to avoid responsibility.
Nonsense. I've not yet begun to defile myself.
Oh, I'm sorry. Peck.
I'm lying, I am afraid.